September had a lot of gamey moments worth talking about. Not everything I worked on turned into a full video, and sometimes I think of new takes after I've already uploaded. This is a very busy season for me, and I'm here going through everything from last month, both the games you saw and some you didn't. After much pain, struggle, and frustration, Wuchang Fallen Feathers is completed. It's a title that is a first for a new developer, and I think there's a lot of promising things we saw. I'm really hopeful that that developer will continue to make more games in the genre and take some of the lessons they're hopefully learning from this entry, their first game, and carrying them forward. I mentioned this briefly in my review video that I really do think they would have been better off having just a few less bosses just to keep the movesets more diverse, as a shockingly large number of encounters had exactly the same moves. Just reskinned. A whole bunch of them had the same kind of hyper beam laser attack. A whole bunch of the bosses had a blade they kind of threw at you at a distance attack. And it made otherwise exciting fights feel a little repetitive that shouldn't have. I think one solution there is just make your game a little tighter, right? Just have a few less bosses. I also think Wuchang suffers a little bit from coming out a little too close to Black Myth Wukong, as Wuchang and Wuchang, the two different games, did almost the same thing in the same ways, but one of them looks better, feels better, and plays better, with better level design, graphics, visuals, and more. And you say, which one is it? Well, it's Black Myth Wukong, so it's pretty tough to judge Wuchang in a vacuum, because facts are there's other titles out there that are fighting for your attention, time, and money. Wuchang just isn't a premium title. It's not. We finished it, but darn, it got tough, mostly on me. The biggest challenge wasn't what the bosses were going to do, but my ability to be patient and methodical in taking them out, as most of the bosses are an endurance test. We get lots of fun moves in Wuchang, but we never really get to use them, as there's only ever one or two good moves that works. And yes, I know there's some god gamer out there that's like, I just did anything I wanted and it worked. Okay, great for you. But facts are, for the average player in Wuchang, you mostly just dodge a lot and then get to do your one possible attack. And over time, it just turned into an endurance test. This last month, I also spent some time in HellDivers 2. Not a lot, not as much as some other months this year. But my ship isn't finished yet. I've got most everything unlocked. And it's just easy to throw on and do a set of 3 missions. If you have a good, somewhere between 30 and 90 minutes, you can usually get something done. And there's only a handful of things I haven't finished unlocking, so we're still just trucking along there. This September, we spent some time in Mechabellum. It got a unit rework and a couple other just minor patches that really have added good things to the game. It's another kind of meditative game almost, where you just kind of set up your mechs and you let them fight. You don't have to think too hard about things. And I think the skill ceiling is pretty high, but the skill floor is pretty low, where it's easy to pick up, but you have to kind of work to master it. Sometimes I think Mechabellum suffers from, you see too much of the same from opponents, where people just kind of know how to win in one way, so that's what they keep building. And I don't think adding more units necessarily solves that problem. I'm not exactly sure how, but there's a number of players that I feel like I run into pretty consistently that all kind of build the same army. And for better or worse, sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. You just kind of see it a lot. This September, I also jumped back into Bloons Tower Defense 6, which is a great throwback if you're here for the live stream channel. When we split off the live streams into its own thing, we used to do daily Bloons challenges until we worked through just about all the achievements. And they've added some more achievements. They've added some new maps. They've added some new heroes. So it's time just to check back in, see what's going on, see if there's anything really worth talking about and making a big deal about. One of my favorite genres got a new entry into early access, which is Endless Legends 2. The first Endless Legends game was a lot of fun and I think had some really neat mechanics. The biggest downfall is that it was never really optimized for a screen above a certain size. So if you're playing on something a little extra, you're just not going to be able to play it. Just the HUD, the heads-up display, and the menus just can't support that. And when I first picked up Endless Legends 1, I was using a laptop and it worked great. And once I moved over to a desktop desk and a monitor, it just couldn't be played. So I was really excited for Endless Legends 2. It's still in early access, so it's a little too early to tell, but it mostly feels just like Endless Legends 1. I'm not really sure how much I'll differentiate the two of them. I haven't played too far into it, and it is early access, so I don't think it's a fair comparison, but the comparison will be made, the first game to the sequel. And if you like the first one, so far this is more of that. It does have a little bit of the payday problem where Endless Legends 1 has a whole bunch of good DLC, a whole bunch of really fun additions that Endless Legends 2 in early access just doesn't have yet. So it's not quite a completed package, and it feels like it's not a completed package because, well, it's not a completed package. I'm excited to see what direction it goes in, and I'm hopeful they can do not just more of the same, but introduce something new and fun and exciting. My biggest surprise this September was a title called MegaBonk. My Steam friends list, it just said someone was playing MegaBonk, and I was like, what is that? And I clicked it, and I said, you know what? Steam has a 120-minute return policy. If I can just load this up and give it a round, see how it goes, I'll give it a go. And I did. A round took 10 minutes. You had 10 minutes to get the round done. I was well within my return time limit. I said, you know what? That was fun. I'll do it again. Fast forward to the end of September, and I'm at 95 of currently 102 achievements. I've unlocked just about every single character, weapon, tome. I think I'm missing one single character, one tome, and a couple of items. I wasn't expecting to like this game. I was surprised that it was as engaging as it was, as it's definitely outside of my typical wheelhouse. I don't think it's a game that's visually stunning. It's visually simplistic. It's not a game that's really asking a lot from you beyond your focus. The way it changes run to run is so small, I think, as a viewer, but I think as a player it's very engaging. For each run you have 10 minutes to beat the boss, and oftentimes you have to find the boss, you don't know where they are, and you open chests and shrines and you get power-ups, and those power-ups are randomized, and that randomization and the decisions you make when you unlock them are what change between your runs. There's a small variety of enemies, but it's not really a focus. There's two maps right now, one kind of foresty map with some hills, some up and some down, and a desert map with some slope. I think MegaBonk has a lot of good things going for it, and I really hope the developer continues to expand. I think if nothing else, I think should be a few more maps in a co-op mode. I think it'd be really cool to be able to do it as 2 players. I'm not exactly sure how you balance that, and I'm not really sure how you fix the tethering. I think you do need to kind of stay together. And if you open a chest, do you both get it? Does the reward get split in half? Do you have to play the same character? I don't know, but I think a co-op mode would be really, really cool. I'm not even sure who I'd play with, but I do know that it's something I want to see happen. I don't think it's a likely series of events, as the game is just not currently set up to do that. But I could definitely see 2 players really having a lot of fun. I don't want there to be a PvP mode. I don't think that's super fun. But I could totally see if they add a 2-player mode, they add a PvP, some kind of, King of the Hill mode. Like, I think there could be a lot of just simple modes that'll get made for this, or at least could be made for this. I don't know if they will be, but I think MegaBonk was just maybe the biggest surprise of the year for me at this point. Is, again, not only is it wildly outside of the genres I typically stay in, kind of outside of my lane, but in addition, I just didn't think it'd be as much fun as it is, or that I would enjoy it as much as I did. But I make a big effort to always try and pick up a title here and there that definitely is something I'm not normally engaging with. And oftentimes it kind of falls short because I like what I like. But in this case, it was a huge, pleasant surprise. I'm not sure I recommend MegaBonk. I think you'd have to know if you're going to like it, but I think it's worth a try. Again, you can start a run and there is a 10-minute time limit. When 10 minutes are up, I mean, your run is basically over. So they're pretty quick rounds, which gives you some flexibility to go, I could try a run, see how it feels. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't, and that's okay.